Brother Abnar, man, thanks so much for joining us, man. It really, really means a lot to me, man.
Well, thanks for having me.
Yes, sir. So I got to ask you, so you're down there for the Nipsey Hussle funeral services. What's it been like?
Well, first and foremost, I'd like to give respect and honor, to our brother Nipsey. Great young man, passed away or got slain at the age of 33. But my time down here, the experience has been nothing short of amazing. The energy down here is overwhelming.
When you see someone like Nipsey, who, when you say, he's passed away, was his life was taken at the age of 33 years old, and we know about Tupac, whose life was taken away at 25 years old, does it almost seem as if the Tupacs of the world, this is where they were heading? Like, it's unfortunate that these young men lose their lives early because they had the opportunity to blossom into some greatness.
And the question is it unfortunate?
Well, of course, it's unfortunate. But I wanted you to speak to the young men that are not having the opportunity to blossom into what Nipsey blossomed into.
Well, as you know, Tupac was also a very well-spoken, really spoke his mind. And he spoke about the things that Nipsey had accomplished. I think had Tupac been around, we'd have probably seen that maturation of him as well. But unfortunately, he got murdered at a younger age, like you said, 25, Nipsey at 33. But this experience and the life of Nipsey, I think it's a change that's coming to where Nipsey wasn't just murdered. He's a martyr. Because it's showing these young brothers what you can do at such a young age in helping your community and rising above your conditions. So I look at the young brother Nipsey Hussle as a martyr to the people.
By the way, we're joined here by Abnar Farrakhan, who had the opportunity to be down there at the services for Nipsey Hussle down in Los Angeles.
So for me, and I think a lot of folks who might be listening tonight, Nipsey Hussle came out of nowhere, and I knew his name, but I didn't understand who he was until after he passed away. And now you've got Barack Obama paying tribute. You have this gathering that you were just at. Could you explain what was so special about this man?
Well, I think it is new to a lot of people, but he wasn't new to his community and what he was doing. He had been in the community working way before probably people have known him publicly. Mm-hmm. They knew him here in Los Angeles, but this is one of those cases that his life and the type of person, the life that he lived and the type of person that he was, once he was slain, he was bigger in death than he was when he was alive. So that's a lot of times how you see leaders born. I believe, if I'm correct, Jesus was bigger in death than he was when he was alive. Mm-hmm. And this is just one of those things that his energy, the person that Nipsey Hussle was and is. Once he was slain, it kind of just blew up. You know, he became known worldwide
Abnar,
because of the way he was taken.
Abnar, I've seen down there that they've had where some of the gangs have called a truce. There's been some peace march between them. And by the way, that has been a beautiful thing. Some of the videos that I have seen. I know, if I know you right, I know that you've had some conversations down there with some. What are some of these gangs talking about when they're talking about the truce and the peace down there in L.A.?
Well, part of that, I guess part of the question broke up because it must have been a bad connection. Can you repeat part of that question? I didn't know you repeat the whole question.
Right.
So.
Right now, I've heard about the peace marches that has happened between some of the gangs down there in L.A. And if I know you, I know you've probably had some conversations down there. What are some of these gangs down there talking about when it comes to the truce and peace together down there?
Well, I haven't talked to a lot of them, but the ones that I have spoken with, some of the feeling down here is a spirit of love and coming together. You know, a lot of them are. There was even Latino, from what I was told, there was even some Latino brothers that also came and visited Ground Zero. The Bloods also came to visit Ground Zero. Although I'm not from Los Angeles, you know, I do have people who live here. And this is just a spirit of trying to heal and unity amongst the different factions or different members of these street organizations.
I think that's a beautiful thing. What is that? What you see as the legacy of Nipsey Hussle? Is it bigger than that? What do you think is going to come from his now being bigger than he was when he was alive?
Well, I think only time will tell what will become of his legacy. I know, and I think that because of his death and him being a martyr at this point in his life, that you'll get younger individuals to start thinking more about community and building their communities instead of killing one another, trying to build with one another.
Abnar, what made you fly to L.A. for this service?
Well, first of all, when I heard about Nipsey, I was very saddened by his death. My father, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, came and spoke at the services at the funeral, so I accompanied my father.
And was there ever a time that you got a chance to meet Nipsey?
I personally didn't get a chance to meet Nipsey. I did know of him prior to, but I didn't. I wasn't real familiar with his music. I'm a little bit older than Nipsey, so the music and things of that nature, I did hear of him, but I, didn't follow him real closely. I think a lot of people in my generation and older,
yes, sir,
really got to know Nipsey after he was slain.
Right. I mean, we knew of him. I know my kids listened to his music. I did know, because of being on the West Coast, I knew about some of the things that he had been doing in the community. I kept up that way. But as far as the music, I did not follow because, like you said, our generation really might not have been listening to that music too tough. Brother Abnar, man, I really appreciate you taking the time to join us, man. And make sure you have safe travels as you get ready to go back to Chicago.
Thank you.
All right.